Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. So very glad you are joining us. And you know, we always love to get these people that are not only good for our community, not only good as somebody who takes care of things as a small business owner, but somebody who cares about you and all the veterans who have fought for you. Welcome back to the program, Ricky Foss. Ricky, thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Love being on here every chance I get.
I know that's right. Now, Ricky is not only the founder of the mission and the owner of Trionator, but somebody who's always thinking of and fighting for our veterans. Let's just talk about some of the things you've been up to lately before we talk about the fight.
Well, I did the bike ride last year, and I was riding. My goal was Key West, and I was stopping in the homeless camps, finding out veterans, and my main mission was to find them once someone validated that they were veterans, because unfortunately, a lot of them that holding a sign. They're stealing valid. A lot of homeless people just hold signs and they lie they're not valid veterans. So be careful there if you see them on the side of the road
Right.
with the sign. A lot of them still valid. But once they validate them, I look them in the eye and say, look, I'm riding this bike 1,300 miles, which became 2,400 because of the suffering I've seen. I'm doing this because I care about you. I want you to know you're not forgotten, and all the great people in Louisiana that got behind me, and then Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. It was like
All the way to
all
DC.
the way through. We want better treatment for you. And while I was doing the bike ride, I kept thinking, because I had a lot of time to think. I was pedaling 8 to 10 hours a day, a lot of time to think. So I'm thinking, what can I do next? So I call Justin Burden, a promoter and owner of In Your Face Productions, Extreme Fitness. I'm like, Justin, man, I'm thinking about coming out of retirement and doing one more fight to raise awareness and help the veterans and raise some money for our local veterans. He says, absolutely, whatever, I'm in 100%. So got to DC. I met a lot of very high up military people along the bike ride who became very close friends of mine.
Okay.
Even met the mayor of Key West, became a friend of his. And several of those people flying in this weekend for that event. We have, we'll talk about the fight a little later, but that's it, man. I just been trying to think of ways to help our veterans more. I use my tree company, Trionator. I got 2 combat veterans that work for me. One's full-time, one comes in when we need them. I try to employ as many veterans as I can. And if I find a veteran, a disabled combat veteran that's low, that doesn't have much money, and they have a life-threatening tree that may be over their house or their property, we go cut it for free. We don't give them a discount, we cut it for free. Because they shouldn't live like that after they fought for us. If they're willing to fight for me, I'm willing to do some work for them.
Wow. I love it. And so let's take a look at this flyer because, man, it's a big event.
It is.
And it's going to take place here on Saturday, the 25th. And so
Yes.
looking forward to that. Tell us a little bit about some of the things we can expect. And we're going to meet some of these people, which is exciting, a little later.
We will. And one of them's an actual combat vet that's fighting on the court. Not only did he go fight for us there, but he's fighting again for us Saturday night. My hat's off to this gentleman. He'll be on shortly. He's the owner of a local martial arts gym, and
Right.
he'll tell us about that.
Right.
It's an action-packed card. We got our local legend, Brendan Savin,
Right.
stepping up against a UFC legend, a man that has fought all over the world. He's got 20-plus fights in the UFC. He is a legend of the Octagon, Melvin Gillard. When we
Okay.
offered this fight to Brendan,
I
Brendan
know
said,
the name.
yeah, Brendan said, I would love to fight this guy. I watched him when I was growing up, and it would be an honor to step into the cage with him. And Brendan will be on here later, but Brendan had a little bit of an injury during training. He pushed through it, and he said he would fight Melvin with one arm if he had to support our veterans and those who fought for our country. So to hear this man talk like that, because I'm so passionate about it, touches my heart because I know another man on this card cares about the vets the way I do, including a veteran that's actually fighting.
Right.
Man, I'm just so honored that so many people are stepping up for this event, our sponsors and everyone.
Well, you know what, Ricky, you're kind of infectious. I got to tell you, when you call people, they want to do it. Now, listen, I will tell you, I know Justin by reputation because my dear friend, the late Tad Gaspard, used to go and do all the announcing for his fights, and I got to know Justin through that. And so they worked very well together. And Justin was always good to Tad, and I've always appreciated that. And so I appreciate what he does. And boy, he works with a lot of people.
He does a
He
lot with
really-
the kids too. I think
Yeah.
I think him and the other gentleman that come on today probably do more for kids in this community than any other of the sporting people. I mean, Justin is all about the kids. If a kid is family's low on finances, they can't afford it. Justin lets them train there for free sometimes, depending on situations. But my heart, I mean, just to see how much he does, the toy drive for Christmas,
Right.
Justin's about his community, and that's why we work so good together.
Yeah.
He was very happy to do this with the vets as well.
And you know, it's really interesting. You talk about the mission all the time. You talk about after the mission all the time when we want to make sure that veterans are honored and we find a way to support them after their mission. But it's interesting because you've got the vision about what people need after the mission. And it's so easy for people to want to do it with your excitement level. It's infectious. You can't not help Ricky Foss.
I appreciate it.
You
Look,
know?
I have some serious people that really step into my corner. One of them is our amazing sheriff, Tim Sanjay. When he found out I was doing that, man made sure every police department in every county knew I was coming through on that bike, that I would be safe. He is awesome. I looked up to him. He's one of my heroes. Like another veteran that I really look up to is Clay Uze. He was Army Time Soldier of the Year, 2006. I wish he could make the fight, but he's got some things going on over where he's from. But we got some great people that did some outstanding things for this community, and a lot of them are backing me with after the mission, and I'm very, very lucky for that.
You know, it's really interesting how you mentioned just that about the sheriff. I never realized, and in the 5 interviews that we did when you were on your ride, I never realized that Tim made phone calls and made sure that you were watched and taken care of. Isn't it really interesting to me that that's another veteran looking out for you while you're raising awareness and funds for veterans? A lot of times I think the support behind the front person is often missed.
It is.
I'm glad you mentioned that. And so we've got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this fight. We're going to bring up some of those fighters, and like you said, some excitement about those fighters being one of the best here locally.
He is.
And one of our combat veteran as well. So you've been fighting for quite a few years now. Let's talk about your journey and what it was that made you the decision to become a fighter.
Well, right after high school, I was looking to lose some weight. You know, you pack on 20 pounds. So I knew Justin throughout high school, and I went to his gym. And 3 months later, he stuck me in a cage. So I pretty much
You got
ran.
voluntold to be in a
Right,
cage, right?
Right. So, and the rest is history. So,
Okay. And so you've been doing it for 15 years now. How many
Yes.
fights have you had in general?
amateur, I think around 10,
Okay.
11, and professionally, I have 10 as well.
10. Wow.
So,
10 professional fights.
yes, I was also in the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
So I have some UFC experience, not as much as Melvin,
Right.
but
Yeah. But you guys get to know each other, right?
oh yeah,
Okay. And so when you had the opportunity to fight Melvin, what was your first thought?
I was psyched. I
Really?
mean,
Okay.
yeah, I was all in.
All right.
Nothing was gonna stop me from.
Wow. And speaking of things that may have, let's talk a little bit about the injury that you sustained. One of those things, and look, as well as you guys have a good program, as strict as you are in sticking to your schedule, you can still sometimes get injured.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. So I had a rotator cuff injury.
Okay.
It was affecting me when I would grapple.
Okay.
So Melvin's a stand-up fighter,
Right.
So I altered my training, did pure stand-up, and it hasn't bothered me since. With therapy, it's
Okay.
helped as well.
Yeah. And so, and that strengthening and therapy, both of those things kind of made it work for you. Ricky made mention earlier that you would have fought with one hand if you had to. Let's talk about the mission and how easy it is to want to do stuff with Ricky.
Oh man, Ricky's easy to work with, man. You know, I've been knowing him for a long time. Great guy, and I really respect what he's trying to do and does for the veterans.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about doing stuff, and then there's the people that get it done.
Right.
Yeah, you don't ride 2,400 miles and for a purpose without getting some people believing in you, you know?
Absolutely.
Very cool. So let's talk about how often you train, how often maybe you get in the cage and fight. Because I got to tell you, it's not something I know a whole lot about training for. I've watched them, but I don't know a whole lot about training for it. Let's talk about your training regimen.
Right. So, I've trained since I've heard about this fight. So
Okay.
so it's been a while. You know, I've sustained an injury and overcame it.
Right.
But the last 4 weeks have been two-a-days at least.
2-a-days.
Yeah. So I'll wake up at 5 a.m. before work and go to the gym and run 4 miles and do some sparring.
Okay.
And I had a lot of veterans from the fight game that came up with me over the years that
Okay.
came meet me at the gym and took their time, the time out their day to help me. And
Wow. Isn't that cool?
it's just so cool, you know. It was like the old days. So I've been
Yeah.
fighting for a while, you know. These
Right.
guys have families now and, you know, jobs, and they took time out to help me. So,
Right. So how's the two-a-days been? I bet you sleep good at night.
yeah, for sure. For sure. I can't sleep long in the morning. Once the sun pokes up,
Yeah, you there.
up.
Yeah, I know somebody to your right that does the same exact thing. Yeah, always up. God bless you. Let's put the flyer back up again, Jen. I want people to see why it is that Brennan is the main event over on Saturday, and it is the Summer Salute, June 25th, 2022. It's the CWC Caged Warrior Championship. You can see there right in the middle, Brennan Savan fighting against Melvin Gillard. Is that correct? Yes, I want to make sure I say his name right. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Showtime is at 7. It's at Houma Thibodeau Civic Center here right in Houma. If you want more information, you can reach out to Justin and his team at In Your Face US or call 985-873-5722. And as always, we get information from Ricky. It's a fight to honor those who fought for us. And so let's talk a little bit about how everything came to be. Ricky, you started making phone calls. Brendan said yes before you could even ask him, I'm assuming. Let's talk a little bit about how the fight came to be.
I was sitting in my truck one night, and I'm like, man, I said, what, you know, because we got canceled for Ida, so it's about November, December time. Just bought my boat. I just got back from buying my boat over, and yeah, I want to say this, almost all these guys on this fight card all have families and have regular jobs and stuff. I'm the only one that's single, living on a boat and works for myself, so I can train all I want. I got a great team that helps me, so
Right.
I'm the lucky one here. They all got
Okay.
They have a lot of responsibilities. I've been able to train a lot easier probably than a lot of them with families and stuff. But I was thinking, I said, what can we do to top this fight off? I called Justin.
Go
I
ahead.
said, what can I do? What can I do to make this a great event? And I said, what about Melvin and Brennan? I called Justin. He said, dude, if you can make it happen, go for it. He called Brennan. Brennan said, yeah, I got on the phone with Melvin. Melvin said, let's do it, big bro. He's, you know, because me and I are very close, and so are me and Brennan. So I'm neutral on who wins this fight. I mean, let the best man win. They both good friends of mine. I'm just honored they're doing it. And,
Right.
you know, Melvin lost a friend, the second friend of mine that drank himself to death with PTSD was Melvin's previous coach. So this means a lot to Melvin too, being for the veterans as well. And they both said, let's do it for the vets. So both of them are about helping the vets, you know?
I like it.
So I was like, when we made it happen, it was like, wow. And then
And
it
it-
just got bigger from there.
And we got a false on the ticket too. So that's a good thing too.
Well, one good thing is that there's going to be another false there interviewing all our extinguished guests.
Right.
Martin's
And
gonna
that's
be
our
there
own,
himself.
our very own Martin Falls, which we're very glad to, or as you would say, cousin. And so, Ricky, the founder of After the Mission, we talk about it a lot, owner at Trianator. Very glad to have you on talking about this fight that's coming up, but always glad to welcome in some of our veterans. Richard Lee, Army combat veteran, and the owner over at Tiger Rock.
Yes, sir.
And which is our one of our martial arts studios here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. And so we appreciate that. And so, Michael, Richard, thanks for being here. Tell us a little bit about your journey and what it was like coming. Just, you know, I got to ask our veterans when they come on. Tell us a little bit about your service.
Well, I joined the military. I got divorced.
Okay.
And after my divorce, I was in martial arts.
Okay.
And a big part of my martial arts is how does my training translate outside of martial arts?
Okay.
So I joined the military. I had two
Oh,
kids.
okay.
And I joined late. I was, believe, 26 years old when
Wow,
I joined.
good
So
for you.
when I went in, my best friend Marcus Dempsey actually has another a jiu-jitsu school in New Orleans.
Okay.
He called 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, bro, I just signed up for the military. I said, no, you didn't. He said, yes, I did. I said, watch, I sign up. 3 hours later, 3 to 6 in the morning, it took me to sign up for the National Guard. I went signed up with the notion of I'm going to Afghanistan. We knew that.
So you knew and your friend both knew that
Yes.
you were signing up to go to Afghanistan.
Yes. And it made me that much more excited. I'll tell you why, because of my martial art training and what my instructor and the confidence that he gave me. Also, you see these things on TV and fighting for your country. You know what? I actually get the opportunity to go and fight for my country.
Wow.
Also having 2 kids, my talk to them was, look, if anything happens, daddy's a hero. He's fighting so that They won't come over here and fight you, and we want to keep the fight to them. And I'm doing this for you guys. So for me, having 2 kids, knowing I was getting out of my divorce, I really wanted to set the example, especially for my son and my daughter, knowing that there are people who sacrifice everything for you every day, knowing that there were people who sacrifice for me every day. So it's my time to go. And I felt like I needed to go. So I went.
Wow.
When I got to Afghanistan, it was a combat field, man. And I tell people, don't take it lightly. You know, you're talking to someone one day and you're standing on that airstrip the next day with the band playing as they're being sent home. And being put through that and the realization of that makes you come home and appreciate every little thing that happens in your life.
Changes your
because that could have been me. We
Yep.
lost more than 12 people connected in our motor pool.
Right.
So this is not like, yes, this is not one person who traveled with us in our company. So, you know, it's 12 people. Think about that. You
Yeah.
throughout
Who
9
didn't come
months,
home.
yeah, you're sending 12 people home. And now I come back, met Ricky, and once he told me what this was for, I thought about Drake, who we lost in Afghanistan with us. And I'm doing this for him. I'm doing this for those 12 other people that we lost. I'm doing this for the millions of people that we lose. We still lost 3 people to suicide when we came back.
Right.
So this is more than just a fight. This is an honor to everyone, and I am ready.
This is a fight for those who have fought. And
Yes.
I love the line. I love
Yes.
the tagline. And so we're excited for you to
Yes.
be able to fight and with all your history. And so it's interesting. You had the history of all of the martial arts that you had done, family man, dad, and then decide my kids need to see what a hero really is.
Yes, sir.
And are that hero.
Yes, sir.
And such, and being the hero for others that need the help.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that people know about it. Jen, put the flyer back one more time. You can go out and see Richard Lee and Brennan Savan and Mr. Ricky Falsh. You can see all these people. We have 2 female fights, right, as well. And so really excited about that. You can go out there. Again, doors open at 6 p.m. Showtime, 7 p.m. at the Homa Thibodeau Civic Center. It is the Summer Salute, June 25th, 2022. Lots of different great entertainment. You will not be disappointed. You can go to inyourface.us or you can go to 985-873-5722 to get tickets. And so, Ricky, this is just an awfully exciting time to be able to have these hometown heroes that are fighting the good fight for those who fight the good fight.
You know, one thing I want to say, no matter what happens in my fight against my opponent, who I want to say he was retired as well. When I called him about this, he and I became friends over the years. Of course, we don't hold back. We're going to go at it. You know, we've put it on each other twice already.
You're a friend until you get in the cage.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
then he's your opponent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But
So
when
it's on.
When I called him and he's been following the bike ride, he kept saying, "Man, Rick, it's awesome, Junior." I said, "Look, I'd like to do one more due to my age. I don't want to fight a 20-year-old. I said, "Would you consider doing one more?" He said, "Rick, first of all, I would do anything for you." He said, "Second of all, I'll do anything for our veterans." He's actually going to be wearing after the mission shirt into the cage to honor our veterans as well. He's driving down here by himself right now because his cornerman can't make it. So we'll get one of the other corner guys. That's how dedicated this guy is to doing this event and helping us. So I'm going to feel so bad I have to knock him out.
Wow. You know what? All of the joy and all of the support, deep down, Ricky's just a fighter. And when it comes to it, I got to knock him out, which I'm assuming everybody that's come on who's a fighter here today is thinking the same thing. I like you, bro. Thanks for being part of the mission, but I'm going to knock you out.
At least he's getting knocked out for the veterans.
Right. If you're going to get knocked out, you might as well get knocked out for the veterans.
I hope anyway. I hope.
Yeah, I got you.
No matter what happens, I still win because my mission and my statement gets to be stated about homeless veterans and PTSD, and everybody in that building or watching live stream is going to know we're saying thank you for your service.
Right. And it's a really big deal. And Ricky, we can't thank you enough for your passion and your vision, being able to know what to do. There's so many people that don't know what to do. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, Richard.
sir.
All right, guys, that will do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more local programming here on HTV.